Most people aren't broke because they're lazy. Most people are broke because they've been lied to. You've been told to play it safe, work hard, get that promotion, save your money, invest frugally. While that all sounds nice, you wake up at 45 and you don't have time freedom, you don't have money freedom, and you don't have any assets that are going to lead to any true financial freedom. I'm not here to talk down to you or say that you're doing anything wrong. I grew up in the middle class. My dad was an engineer and he did that exact same thing. He worked hard his entire life for one company and was able to retire at the age of 65. However, he lived frugally his entire life. I was going down that same path that you were taught, that I was taught, and that my dad did, but I made a pretty hard pivot about 4 or 5 years into the real world and went all in on real estate. So in this video, I'm going to cover 7 things that you are doing that are keeping you broke and keeping you from getting to that next level financially. And I even have a bonus one that I'm going to give at the end. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you want more financial freedom, hit that like button. Number 1, you're waiting for the perfect time to take action, whether that be invest in real estate, whether that be invest in the stock market, whether that be take a chance on a new business. You're waiting for the perfect time, and in reality, there is no perfect time. There is no time in the market. No one can predict the future. Some people can have ideas of what they think the future will look like, but they're never ever right. The only perfect time to invest or take that chance or that risk is right now. There is not a perfect scenario. The perfect scenario is a scenario that has you involved in it because you're taking action. So many people sit on the sidelines and wait for that perfect time, and they're literally waiting for something that will never happen. And then they get a little long in the tooth and end up never taking action because they feel like they missed their boat. Of course, you have to have a few things buttoned up and you have to have somewhat of a plan so that you can take action, but it's all internal. The value, the readiness for you is internal, not external. Don't look around and wait for a perfect situation externally. Get yourself ready, be ready to take action, be ready to fail and learn from those failures and take action anyway. That's the perfect time. The perfect market, the perfect situation is you taking action no matter what's happening outside of you. Number 2, thinking you have to do it alone. I don't know if it's people's ego or the fact that there are so many fake gurus and all these people trying to take your money all the time and teach you something that they probably don't even know what they're doing themselves. But so few people are willing to ask for help or get support. And again, of course, this is a real estate investing channel, so that's my main focus here. But in general, no matter what you want to do, you need to do it with other people. Real estate specifically is a team sport. You need a plethora of people to do just one deal, so you must be willing to get to know other people and make it a team sport. Whether you want to grow a landscaping business, whether you want to do an AI startup and create something with AI that you think can help other people, regardless, you need to understand that you need to lean on other people's wise counsel that have been there and done that. I'm not saying you have to pay every guru under the sun to give you a shortcut. I'm just telling you, you have to have the mindset and understanding that no one does it alone. Anyone that does big things does it on the backs of other people that have already accomplished those big things. If you want to do something, someone else has already done it and probably done it very, very well and made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of mistakes figuring it out. Follow their path, whether you have to pay for it or not, and you will get there sooner. Get over your ego and know that you cannot do this alone. And number 3, and this is Jeff Prim, my dad, written all over him. Most people value hard work over smart leverage. My dad would drive an extra 5 miles to save 2 cents on gas, when in reality, that's working harder, not smarter, and you probably wasted more gas going there. Or he would mow the grass every single day or do hours and hours of yard works on the weekends rather than working on something else that is maybe a way to make more money. Working hard is very, very important. I work 70, 80 hours a week. I love it, I enjoy it, but it's not about the money. It's about the growth, it's about the opportunity, it's about the challenge, the struggle, and pushing myself beyond what I thought I could become. Now, that's not where most people are. Most people are working hard and focusing on just hard work to make more money. It's not just about that. You have to be willing to work smarter and potentially leverage your way to making more money. If you spend 15 hours a month doing yard work, for example, mowing your grass, trimming your trees, doing all of those things. Could you pay somebody to do that? Yes, that's money out of your pocket, but could you take those 15 hours and learn a new skill, start a side hustle, or do something that will eventually make you way more money than the money you saved by doing the actual physical labor yourself? As you can see, this one hits home a little bit to me, but in general, be willing to leverage other people's time, other people's knowledge, other people's money to get further faster, and just rolling up your sleeves, working hard, sweat on your brow, that's not enough. You need to understand that smart leverage is the key to the next level. Number 4, and this is a big one, people are scared of debt because they don't understand it. We are taught growing up that getting into debt is bad. Credit card interest rates are 15, 20, 25%. Dave Ramsey says save all your money and pay off every single dollar of debt you have. That's a fine path to go down. And bad debt, consumer debt, credit card debt, that's bad. But it's not a single path. It is not a one size fits all. That is a path to not be poor. That is a path to limit your risk. But that is not a path to create financial freedom. That is not a path to get ahead financially. You can't save your way to wealth. You have to leverage other people's money, aka get into debt to create wealth. Elon Musk does this with the best of them, and I know we're not all planning to be the most wealthiest person in the world. However, he's mastered the art of using other people's money, using leverage to buy things. I do it at a much how many muches can I say? Much smaller scale with real estate, but it's the same concept. It's all about borrowing money, which is getting into debt, to buy an asset, not a liability, that produces cash and grows in value, and then you pay off who you borrowed the money from and you own the asset. It's very simply done with real estate. Mark Zuckerberg did it with Facebook. Jeff Bezos did it with Amazon. Anyone you can think of that's made it big has not used their own money to do it. They've used other people's money to do it. So as long as you're doing it to buy an asset and not get into more credit card debt or buy a car you can't afford, if you're borrowing money to buy something that produces enough money to pay off who you borrowed the money from, it's the only logical way for us to get ahead financially coming from the middle class. Because we don't make enough money to save enough money, to invest enough money, and live a decent life and get ahead of the current rate of inflation and the way the world is going. Number 5. Most people think they don't have enough time to learn the game. Whether you're talking real estate or any other type of side hustle investment, it requires hard work. While AI is something that has helped shorten the learning curve, you can go to ChatGPT and ask it pretty much anything and it will give you a really good answer. That's just about the knowledge. You need to gain knowledge, and you can use AI to do that, but you have to gain enough knowledge to have enough confidence to take action. Using AI efficiently will help you learn that knowledge quickly, but the quickest way to learn the actual knowledge that is learned through implementation, because AI is knowledge, not implementation. The quickest way to learn that implementation knowledge is to get involved in a community, whether it be a free online Facebook group, a free online meetup, or a mentorship or a mastermind, or getting somebody's coaching program. Learning the actual knowledge needed to implement from somebody else who implements it on a daily basis is the only way to get over that fear of, I know how to do it, but doing it is scary because there's risk. There's also reward in doing. But you need to bridge that gap, that implementation gap, and the best way to do that is to follow somebody else's exact implementation game plan. Everybody's got a busy life. That is not an excuse. It seems like the most successful people have the most busy lives. However, they are comfortable with implementation and they have the knowledge to implement and they learn from their mistakes. So don't let being busy be an excuse, because everybody's busy. Number 6, this one may hurt a little bit, but you mistake comfort for security. Comfort and security are not the same thing. You can be very comfortable, but be in a very unsecure situation, especially financially. Most people prefer comfort. Discomfort is uncomfortable, so they avoid it. However, when you do that, you tend to avoid security, because financial security specifically is only gained through growing and being uncomfortable and failing and pushing forward and being maybe a little bit insecure for a while and failing for a while and pushing through. It's comfortable having a job that you know what to do every day, that doesn't push you, that allows you to get by, but you're in a very insecure position. What happens if you get fired? What happens if that one stream of income that was comfortable goes away? You're all of a sudden very uncomfortable and very unsecure. Comfort zones are insanely expensive. That's the best way I can tell you to look at things. If you're very comfortable in your life, in your job, but you're not super comfortable financially, that is a very, very dangerous place to be. Most people live in their comfort zones and they end up dying in their comfort zones because they're not willing to step outside of that to get to the ultimate form of security, which is financial freedom, where you have more passive income coming in every single month than active expenses. That is a very, very secure place to be. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't come without failure. It doesn't come without hard work. But if you're willing to stretch your limits, if you're willing to be uncomfortable for a while, you can live an actual life of comfort. And number 7, similar number 1, but waiting until you're fully ready to take action. You will never be fully ready to do anything of substance that's going to create any financial security and that's going to push you to be a better person and a more financially secure person. Nobody feels ready. The best things I've done in business and in life, I've just taken action and figured it out as I went. Being ready is another myth. Similar to number 1, this is chasing a version of you that's not real. This is very similar and kind of weird, but this is similar to you chasing the thought process of finding a unicorn. You will never find a unicorn. You can search your whole life for a unicorn. You will never find a situation where you are ready to take action and you are ready. You just have to do it anyway and learn as you go. Action builds confidence. It's not the other way around. So get that knowledge, take that action, and then you will build some confidence. Of course, that knowledge will give you a certain level of confidence, enough to take action. But after you take action, you will learn and you will be more confident and you will be more willing to take more action, and massive action is required. That confidence from that knowledge gets you that initial action, but enough action to financially impact your family and your lives requires massive action. And massive action comes from confidence of taking initial action. Hopefully that wasn't too much of a mind maze for you, but I think you get the point. And the bonus, the number 1 reason why you're not where you want to be financially is you're probably not investing in real estate. I'm not talking about going to a few meetups and reading my book or another book or watching videos like this. You're not actually investing and taking action. Investing in real estate and owning real estate, whether it's your personal house or actual investment real estate, creates 90% of millionaires. You need to own an asset that's going to create wealth for you, because if you own real estate, you get guaranteed value growth. It doubles in value every 15 years. The next 12 months, it may go down a little bit, but over the next 15 years, it is going to double in value. You also get debt pay down. Somebody else is paying down your mortgage, so your equity is compounding. On top of that, you get tax savings. On top of that, you get cash flow. There is no investment like real estate. It does what no other investment can do. And the cherry on top is you can use other people's money to do it. You can't use other people's money to buy Amazon. You shouldn't use other people's money to buy crypto. You can use other people's money to buy real estate, because unlike any investment, it goes up in value, mortgage is paid down by somebody else, you get cash flow and tax savings. It is the end all be all, and leverage is the key to it. You're not broke because you're dumb, or you're not financially where you want to be because you're dumb. You're broke because you've been trained to play a game where there's no winner. Change the rules, learn the game, and build your wealth. If you got any value out of this video, make sure to hit that like button. I give very tactical videos on how to invest, but I also give bigger picture videos like this to help motivate you and get you to that next level. Subscribe, hit that like button, comment with any questions. I'll answer them permanently, and make sure you check out my podcast, The Faster Freedom Show. See you on the next one.